The status of the U.S. cow herd, it's a hot topic these days. We have more in this week's Market Watch.
Market Watch.
Joining me in the studio is Todd Klaus, analyst with CattleFax. Welcome back to the show, Todd.
Thank you for having me.
You know, recently USDA released its report, and tell us what that meant to us, both in terms of cow numbers, but just in terms of U.S. cattle herd.
Sure, Kevin. The report, there wasn't too many surprises with the report. USDA confirmed that the cattle supplies are continuing to shrink. In terms of the total cattle inventory, it was down about 1.3 million head and totaled 92.6 million on January 1. This is actually the smallest total cattle inventory since 1958. On the beef cow side, the beef herd was actually down about 500,000 head, which was largely in line with what was expected, given what we know with the current market situation. We continue to see strong demand for the lean grinding beef as consumers have continued to trade down. At the same time, you had smaller imports for 2010. These two variables, when you combine them, resulted in record high cull cow prices for the year. As producers see that, they continue to liquidate and reduce their cow herd size. We continue to see smaller cow herd. At the same time, beef cow slaughter levels were actually 9% higher for the year. And until we see this change, we'll likely see a smaller cow herd again on 2012.
It's a bad time to be an open, fat cow, isn't it?
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about this. What did it mean in terms of feeder calf numbers, and what is your assessment there?
So when we look at our current supply with our feeder and calf supply, the two things I kind of look at are what was our calf crop for 2010 and how many cattle did we place in the yards in the second half of last year. The calf crop for 2010 was down 250,000 head. At the same time, we actually placed a significantly larger number of cattle in the second half of the year. So what this has done is it's created a smaller feeder and calf supply that are still outside of the feed yards. Actually down about 900,000 head on January 1. And when you think about how many cattle were placed into those yards in the second half of the year, our cattle on feed number was almost 6% higher than a year ago as of January 1. So our total supply for the first half of the year is actually very ample in terms of fed cattle supply. The second half of the year is really where we're going to see a bigger question mark. With that many fewer cattle outside of the feed yards to be placed yet, we expect to see significantly smaller fed cattle supplies in the second half of the year.
And so as you think about this information and analyze it, what does it mean in terms of beef cow herd expansion?
Well, Kevin, from what the report indicated, we actually saw a 300,000 head decline in the number of beef replacement heifers. And on a percentage basis, this is a pretty big decline. However, since the first of the year, we have seen a decline in the beef cow slaughter levels. In January, we also saw a smaller percentage of heifers being placed on feed. Now, 1 month doesn't make a trend, so we're going to continue to monitor these numbers very closely over the next several months to see if they continue. But they do indicate that we may be on that track. I think it's also important to keep in mind just how much the cost side has increased for cow-calf producers over the past 5 years. They've basically steadily increased every single year, while at the same time calf prices have continued to decline up until last year. As calf prices have continued to rebound, we think they're going to have to continue to move higher in order to get producers overly excited or very excited about expanding their herds over the next couple of years.
Well, thank you for your insight, and please keep us posted as you learn more.
Thank you.
For more information and expert analysis, visit CattleFax.com.